Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad you decided to stop by. I would love for you to subscribe and stick around. In today's What's for Dinner, we are making two delicious and easy meals that most of the ingredients are probably already in your pantry, and they can be cooked in 30 minutes. For our first recipe today, we are making Philly cheesesteak sloppy joes. I started out by heating up some oil in the bottom of this skillet here. So I'm just adding in some frozen diced bell pepper and some pre-diced onion that I chopped up at another meal. We're just going to let this sit here and saute for a little bit, just until they get a little tender. After just a few minutes of sauteing, I'm adding in about a pound to a pound and a half of ground beef. And we're just going to cook this until it's completely done. Our ground beef is completely cooked through. Now, I did drain off some extra grease on mine. That's just going to depend on how lean your ground beef is. So if yours has a little bit of extra grease in the bottom, make sure you go ahead and discard that. So the next thing is we're taking about a tablespoon of cornstarch. And we're just going to sprinkle that all in there just like that. And we'll give this a stir, and we just want to make sure all this ground beef gets coated in some of that cornstarch. Add in some beef broth. I'm going to start with that much and see how it is. After your beef broth, add in about 1/4 cup of your favorite steak sauce. For this recipe, you want to use some of your favorite steak seasoning, and I have some of this Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse, so that's what I'm going to use. So I opened up my buns on this baking sheet. I have all the bottoms here and the tops up here. So what you'll do is you'll just take some softened butter, and you'll want to butter the top and the bottom of the buns. Once you get your buns buttered, we'll place them in the oven under broil for just a couple minutes, and make sure you keep a close eye on it because you do not want these to burn. So as you can see, we did get a little bit of color on these buns. I took them out pretty quickly because we are about to put them in, so I didn't want them to get too dark. So I'm taking a spoonful of this Philly cheesesteak sloppy joe mixture, and I'm placing it on the bottom bun. For the top buns, we're adding on our cheese. I know typically with with Philly cheesesteaks, most of the time people will use either like a Swiss or a provolone, but of course y'all know tonight it's all about using what's in our pantry, and the cheese that I had in my refrigerator is pepper jack, so that's what we're using tonight. So really just use whatever cheese your family loves the most, or just what you have on hand. Now we're placing this back in the oven under broil just for a few minutes to melt this cheese. And that's what we're having for dinner tonight. 30 minutes, Philly cheesesteak sloppy joes. Those actually turned out super good. When we were eating those, my husband actually told me that out of all the Philly cheesesteak things that I've made here on this channel, that one was his favorite. For our second recipe, we are making beef and pepper rice bowls. I started out by heating up some olive oil in the bottom of my pan. I have some frozen diced bell peppers, gonna add in some red onions, some homemade pickled banana peppers. Just kind of give that a toss, and we just want to cook these for a few minutes just until some of these veggies get a little tender. So it's time to add in our ground beef. And of course, we're just going to cook this until it's all the way done. And once you get this cooked completely, you can drain off any of the extra grease. While we wait on that beef to cook completely, let's go ahead and get started on our rice. I'm cooking my rice in my Instant Pot. This is one of my favorite things to cook in my Instant Pot. So I have a couple cups of brown rice and water inside. I'm adding in 1 stick of butter. And that's all I add to mine, just have plain rice. So we'll add our lid on. I am making sure it's on sealing. And my Instant Pot has a rice button right here, so I'm just going to press that and it'll go for 10 minutes. Okay, y'all, so once you get your ground beef drained, we are almost done. We're going to add in a little bit of salt and pepper. Some ground ginger. Garlic powder. And some soy sauce. I'm actually using coconut aminos, but it's just a soy-free replacement for soy sauce. Give that a quick stir. And now it's time to serve it up. And that's what we're having for dinner tonight, beef and pepper rice bowls. Not only is that recipe delicious, but it's super easy to make, and all of the ingredients are very budget friendly. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me in the kitchen today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, leave me some comments down below on some of your favorite budget friendly 30-minute meal ideas, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!